Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Qmenera, an Experience Points podcast. We're an all-queer cast Numenera podcast. I'm Kenny, the cast member who plays the lovable and simple lad Hillian. If you love our show, we hope you'll rate us and review us on iTunes or wherever you consume your podcasts. Every review makes Kelric, the GM and producer's eyes, sparkle, and helps new listeners to find us. Did you know that we had a Patreon? We are grateful to everyone who's already become a patron. You keep our mics on and our dice rolling. We've got some great rewards, so check them out at patreon.com/experiencepoints.
Be gay. Roll dice.
An LGBTQIA actual play podcast network.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kelric. I am the narrator for our Qmenera podcast. My pronouns are he, him. I remembered once again. I'm super excited. And today I am joined by my fabulous cast.
Hi, I'm Jess. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Tiyune, a mechanical nano who rides the lightning, and her pronouns are also she, her.
Hi, my name is Aaron. I use they, them pronouns. I almost forgot this time. And I play Railu, a graceful glaive who speaks with a silver tongue, and their pronouns are also they, them.
Hey there, it's Cage. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I will be playing Charlie, the strong-willed nano who talks to machines, and she also uses she, her pronouns.
And I'm Kenny. I use he, they pronouns, and I play Hillian Jossa, an earnest Jack who howls at the moon. He uses he, him pronouns.
Wonderful. I would like to offer a GM intrusion at this point. Between the two of you, do you want to accept it or do you want to say no? And this is one where I'm not going to give you the option of knowing in advance.
I have no extra XP to expend because I spent it.
Okay.
Do
Do it pay to stop it or do it let it go?
Chaos.
I guess this conversation's only taken like a couple of seconds in the real world, but for us, we've already done a lot. Yeah, I guess we'll see what the GM intrusion is.
Okay. The experience is going to go to Jessica. So add one experience and then you can give it to whomever you want. Let me tell you what the GM intrusion is. Charlie's power in this case is transmitting their thoughts and having this conversation via nanos to the device in your head, the Numenera you've taken in. Using the nanos, Charlie is going to accidentally sort of supercharge your device, and it's going to open up the frequencies so that more people can access you than intended. And so anyone who has abilities like Charlie's or maybe a further distance it's a broader bandwidth suddenly. You cannot control. So anyone who is projecting their thoughts, you can start to hear there's like this background chatter that you cannot shut off. And
So is it just that I'm hearing their thoughts or are they hearing mine?
currently you are hearing theirs, but it's like you're in an auditorium. So it's very similar to when you first touch that glass globe to get memories, only you can't do anything about it. And it's real low level. Like it's like this constant hum in the background that will not go away.
Okay, but it doesn't seem like anyone can hear mine back except for Charlie.
As far as you know, that is the case. But you are much more open now, and it's a channel you can't close.
Okay.
Without some serious work, which you would have to do later.
Okay.
Who do you want to give that second experience to?
I'll give it to Charlie, to Cage.
Okay. So you'll add the experience to your sheets, and yeah, Tiyune, it's going to be a very distracting thing. So if there's something that requires you to focus, it's going to be one step higher going forward. That's just something to know. Okay?
Okay. Can you give an estimate of like, maybe not right this second, but like a general percentage of like any room that I'm in, how many people there have an ability like this so I can hear their thoughts?
I have no idea. It will be a random thing I roll as we do in interactions.
Okay.
Does Charlie know that she's done this?
Nope.
Or okay.
No, this
Yeah,
was an accident.
Cool.
Because
Cool.
this is not something Charlie has done before as far as speaking to someone, because it's specific to the implant that Tiyune took on. Cool. You all have this interaction. You did say Tiyune when she walked up, and so Wither looks up at you, and this ability that you're using, they don't recognize. And this happened like that. They saw your eyes flicker over to Railu and back to Tiyune, and they're just looking at you like, what's going on? Why did you say Tiyune?
Tiyune, did you say Charlie's name too? I don't remember if that was out loud or if that was in our head. Okay.
Yeah.
That was out loud.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you were someone else. I'm so sorry. And well, especially since she's expecting like this nobility to come to the table, she's probably like you would if you had like have been misinformed about some sort of like nobility. Like she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were someone else, and like she'll kind of like back away from the conversation a little bit, like embarrassed looking.
Okay.
Hoping that maybe they don't.
Maybe we
see
should.
Quick thing though, didn't Tiyune say Charlie?
Well, but you knew my name.
Oh, I guess
You were introduced,
that's
so
fair.
Well, but also Tiyune is the name that she gave, so like they will know that she goes by Tiyune.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Y'all come up to the table, and Wither looks up at Charlie, and because it's not like you to step forward in these sort of settings it's not really, I don't want to say your place, but it's Wither's the one who's handling these kinds of things. You're there for a specific purpose, and that purpose is dealing with Numenera and anyone who might mess with them. And so you jumping in immediately triggers Wither to be paying a lot more attention to potential problems. And can I get Aaron, Jessica, and Kenny to do quick perception checks? So just do a quick roll. Oh, no ones. That's fine. Hillian and Railu, you do not notice with your 6s, but Tiyune with a 14 does notice that as this interaction happens, Wither's hands, one of them just sort of, it comes up and it's not touching their face, it's resting on a shoulder joint, and it's real casual. That happens. And they say, well, thank you so much for joining us. And they look at Railu, and they're not pleased with how you have handled introductions and bringing Tiyune over. Your person can sit with my people over there if they want. It's up to you. You're the one I want to talk to.
Thank you for having me. I fear I may have intruded in your space without realizing.
No. And they look over at Marvel and they say, you can go. And Marvel doesn't even hesitate. It's very fluid. They're just like, whoop, I'm out. And as they do so, you can see it, they get a pouch, which is just a bunch of shins. Like they just got paid a reasonable amount of money, and very much like they were grateful to Railu. They're just like, this is the best day ever for money for me. Getting married is going to be so much easier now because I can afford stuff. And they leave.
Did they leave the bar?
Yeah, they get up and they leave the bar. They are done.
I'll catch him later. We'll see if he's still going to get married.
Yeah.
Rat me out.
We'll see. Wither points to their seat and says, please have a seat. I think we have potential business to talk.
Would you mind if my friend joins us? And she very obviously points to Hillian and turns her body away from Railu to make it clear that Hillian is the friend she wants to join.
Did Hillian come over? I mean, you're untied.
Yeah, I mean, Hillian's used to kind of flowing, moving with the flow of wherever Tiyune goes. I imagine Tiyune's cape just continuously flapping just kind of has his attention.
Mhm.
But his stomach is growling, like audibly. And he's kind of looking up towards the bar at the scrolling letters just to see if it's like a menu.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Was like, it's fine. No, please have a seat. So normally I would have this lovely interplay where I go back and forth between you and me and your person here and possibly your new friend, but I don't have time for it. We might have some business. I am looking for someone who it seems like would have the bankroll that someone in your position would have. And then I have something that could make us both powerful. I would like to propose a business opportunity.
Interesting. Can you tell me more about this thing that you have access to?
There is a person in this city who has a map that, it being authentic, to a place that will allow us to build as much Numenera as we like. They point to all of your protrusions and they're like, I think this is obviously something that would appeal to someone with your interests. And it appeals to me because I would like to be elevated to a stature above where I am. Numenera is a fine way to do that.
Can you tell me about how it was verified?
I asked for a specific piece of Numenera, and I was told that it's possible, and then they brought it to me.
How long did that take?
It took them approximately 5 days, and they said that that's about the travel time there and back for one of the entrances.
When was this?
This was no more than a month ago, and I have been attempting to get a backer with enough influence since. Feel like you might be the person. Are you the person?
Can you tell me what it is that would be... Explain to me how exactly this would be beneficial to me, because it sounds like you're asking me to give you money so that we can share this ability, so that we can share access to this.
Do you have a way to get it by yourself?
Do you?
Well, there will always be another backer. You're the one who's here. They look over at Railu, and they're like, they give you the look of, can you persuade this person? Because you brought them over, and so far I'm not impressed. Let's see what you can do. If we're your people as you claim.
What a very specific look to give someone.
Oh,
right? I'm like, wait, what?
So with your connections, there's sort of a hidden language that they can use. And so there's the look and then conveyed using that hidden language.
A thieves' cant, essentially.
Essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I will lean in and whisper into Tiyune's ear. You know, it may not be such a bad idea to put a temporary alliance together. It's not necessarily something we're going to do permanent, but if they know where it is and we can't find Tuam, and then I'll lean back.
I don't like working with unknowns, but you're right that I don't know how to get access to this any other way. What is it that you need?
Money. I can set up the meeting in less than 10 minutes.
How much money do you need?
3,000 shins is what they're asking for. I have half.
Okay. Where would you propose to set up this meeting?
Wait here. and they motion to one of their other people, and that person leaves the table and goes to do something.
I meant the location of the meeting. Surely you're not expecting me to just have 3,000 shins on my person.
We will be going as soon as we hear back from Tuam. I'm expecting you to have access to 1,500, and I would expect you to send your person to go get it. Now.
I, upon hearing that, am going to leave, but the minute I leave the door, I'm going to start following their runner to Tuam.
But before you leave,
okay.
please. Tina would say, yes, I can send Railu to get the money, but I'm not going to bring it here. We're meeting somewhere else. And then,
we're meeting wherever Tuam tells us to.
And then she'll nod to Railu to be like, yeah, go do your thing.
Okay, so then I'm going to trot off and follow their runner so I can find out where Tuam is.
Okay, give me a speed roll.
Careful movement or wait, is it speed to catch up or speed to stealth?
Stealth.
Okay, so careful movement?
Yep.
Cool. So that'll give me that. I'm 1,000% using effort because I'm not getting caught doing this. And do I have anything else that can help me out here? DMs, so here's the thing. DMs are supposed to want you to lose, Kelric.
Oh, it's not...
How about a nat 20?
Oh, wow.
How does a nat 20 treat you, Kelric?
Oh. A GM intrusion is not about losing, it's about making things more interesting, which Railu is good at.
It's always about losing.
Yes, so you are able to stealthily follow this person who they have no idea, and they are on guard too. This person is going for something super important, and you are outwitting them at every turn. Everything they try to throw off someone who might be following, you are like, I know that.
I made that one up.
You're like, that's tired and old. Come on. With all your 17-year-old arrogance, which in this case is completely justified. You're like, this is incompetent, please. You follow them. They go into this building, which is really secure, but you manage to find an area of this. Again, it's much like the bar, where it's a cave-like entrance into a tree root. It looks completely like there's no outside way to see in, but you actually find an area where the tree roots one of them has started growing into and started splitting the wall, and you can just see in, and you see in that this person is talking to someone who has the description of Tuam. I would like you to do a perception check.
Okay, this is super important, so we're going to apply more effort.
Well, and before you roll, what do you want your major effect to be? I will allow that to be something that affects perception.
Okay, so something that affects perception.
Mm-hmm. If you find a way to make it to where it can reduce the difficulty of the perception check, it's fine.
What if, and this is a big one, so maybe you might just say no, so I'm going to ask anyway. What if it's not whatever you want me to see necessarily, but what if instead I see something that gives me a hint to where the map might be hiding? Like I see a Numenera device that has an echo point on it, or there's some specific mud on his shoes that I'm like, oh, that was right outside. There was this weird red glowy mud.
Okay, so make your roll. Let's see what you got.
Okay, I'm still going to apply effort to this. Because if I could keep 3,000 shins and steal the map. 7 plus my whatever.
Yeah.
My 3.
With everything you have and the major effect, I'm going to say that seeing this person jogs your memory, and you recognize this person from when you first met Hillian. Do you remember how you met Hillian?
Hillian was wandering in a forest when we were saving that group of people in that weird cube.
Yeah, you were saving a group of adventurers, and do you recall how that adventure went? What happened? Do you want to give a quick overview of what happened? Do you remember? Do you want me to...
I remember that we were supposed to free them, and we didn't trust them because Tiyune doesn't trust anybody. And this is from Riley's perspective, of course.
Mhm.
And so I think we got them out, but I also feel like they tried to betray us, but I could be super wrong. So please reinform me.
Okay. Jessica, Kenny, do either of you remember how that adventure went at all? This was an introductory adventure for everyone to sort of get to know each other that was not part of our recordings.
I don't remember how it went.
I don't think I remember more than what
Okay.
Aaron said. I remember I got the staff that like cut through something, and I wanted to use that to get them out, but it would have killed them all. So I didn't do that. And it was something where we had to like go like mess with a piece of Numenera to like get that thing to release, and that they were being very shady. But that is all I remember.
There was a mind control tiara thing.
There was a group of people who had been sent to collect a Numenera that was a mind control tiara to bring back to their boss. They asked you to save them, and in exchange offered you some ciphers and money and stuff they had, asking you to free them and let them go finish their job. You were traveling with another person. You all, as you were going through, that person actually died. Through going through, Hillian joined you, and you were able to find a battery in your bag that allowed you to power the Numenera to release the cage. And then you found the healing sword that Railu has, and you found the tiara. And as you came back, they asked you to give them the tiara because that was the whole reason they were there. And you decided you didn't want to. And Hillian used the tiara to make them go away. He mind controlled them to leave. So they did so. And Railu, you recognize this person as one of the people that was mind controlled to leave. And their name is not Tuam. Their name is Nils. They were one of the, much like you, they were sort of sneaky and sly, and you remember them they were prepared to attack you, and they looked pretty dangerous. But you recognize this person as this other person, not Tuam, but Nils.
Okay. I have no idea what to do with that. I think that Railu, with this new information, is just going to follow, or is going to listen into this conversation and then follow the person back.
Sure. They tell Nils that they have a buyer, and Nils asks for the name, and they're like, well, it's Wither, and they have a new partner, and they give Tiyune's name as the partner's name, and you see Nils take a deep sigh, and they get a smile that you really don't like on their face. And then they give them a location, and they're like, we'll meet here. The person says, sure, and they take off, and and you see Nils leave and head to some other location.
Can I recon that to follow Nils instead, after seeing that smile?
Sure. You'll have to roll stealth again.
Cool. And I'll apply more effort. We're using all the points today.
That's what they're for, right?
Yep. All right, plus my careful movement. 18 plus 2 raises.
Wow, yeah, you follow Nils, and Nils does not notice you at all. They go to another area that is actually outside. It's sort of a hallway of ester tree roots, and it's very secluded. It is actually near the wall of the city, Yeah, they set up and they are waiting there. They pull out a Numenera device that they set up and they charge it, and they are patiently waiting for everyone to join them.
Ooh, okay.
But meanwhile, at the bar, the person comes back and they tell everyone at the table, like, we can meet over by the wall in the north end. Tuam says they're waiting for us, and they'll have their end of the bargain. And Wither looks at you, Tiyune, and says, it's time to go. Will your person have the money? It's time to go.
Yes, they'll have the money.
How will they get to you?
Well, I'll need to either wait here for them to return or return to where we're staying, and they'll meet me there. And then we can meet you at the north end of the wall. Would you like to send one of your people with me so you know I'm not trying to, like, cut you out?
Yes. Charlie, this one's you. They get up and they're like, Tuam is not very patient. You need... And then they head out. They gather their people, and they actually leave Charlie and two of their other little people, and they're like, you three, make sure they get there. They all take off to meet up with Tuam.
Charlie get up and will start walking out the door, basically like Charlie knows that they need to get there like now, like 5 minutes ago. So she'll start walking.
Hold on, we need to figure out a plan for how Railu's going to meet us with the money.
Well, you said that they would meet you where you're staying, so if you want to lead the way, we can head that way.
Sure. Is there a specific spot that we would have found that maybe hopefully like earlier in our stay here, we would have said, like, if we ever get separated, let's meet back up here. Maybe someplace that's like the easiest access point between levels or something like that.
Sure. Is Railu just staying and watching Nils, or what are they doing?
God, there's so many things I want to do.
Uh-huh.
Railu is going to try to make a note of what the Numenera device is, even with their inability. So can I roll for that real quick?
Yes.
I know. It's going to be impossible, but they're going to try. So I have an ability to that.
Yes, give me a one.
15, though, with the inability is like a 12, I think.
Actually, it looks very similar to the device that Geston gave you that transports something from somewhere else to where you are, just like with the coins that you all have. So,
nice.
Being a criminal, to you, it would indicate this is someone who's not dumb, and they're not going to carry the map around with them because they know if they do that, someone like Wither would simply kill them and take it. But if they have to make an exchange like what you were planning on with the Shins, this is a way to keep themselves alive. You can tell that they've thought through how to make sure the map is sold in a way that they don't die.
So I'm guessing if I stole this, then I wouldn't be able to activate it. Damn. Okay, I thought I'd ask.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So on seeing that this isn't like a weapons Numenera, so I don't. Even though Nil is like really creepy and really bad, I am hoping that with Wither there, maybe we won't get murdered. So I am going to head back to the place that I know Tiyune would be.
Cool. All of you meet up. What? I'm going to assume you all trade information, and so Charlie is aware that you know where to go and that you have, I would assume you say you have access to the funds.
Well, so do I know that, does Tiyune disclose that she knows Charlie?
I don't know, does she?
I mean, with the two other people around, like if there is a way for her to be like Charlie's good, without them hearing it, then yes.
Roll a stealth.
Is that speed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Yeah. Not only do you get to share that information, it's almost as if you are in a time bubble where these other two idiots don't know what's happening. They trust Charlie to be in charge, and they're just like, we're along. If a gun comes out, fine, or whatever weapon you pull out, sure, we can handle that, but we don't care. Just we're just here for the, we're along for the ride. Wither told us to be here. So you can share absolutely everything and they will not know.
I feel like if Charlie is like superior to them, she'll just be like, "Oh, you need to go over that way for a minute."
Perfect. Oh, and they'll just listen. You're Wither's right-hand person, so you are in charge.
Yeah, so Charlie will send them off to go do something like unnecessary.
Yeah, cool. So that happens.
How hard are you vouching for Charlie? Like they're the best, you can tell them everything, or like they're okay?
Charlie is incredibly capable, and I think if we can give her something useful, then she might be persuaded to maybe hang out with us. That's her trying to be very subtle, saying like, if we get her access to good Numenera, maybe we can turn her onto our side.
Am I hearing any of this?
Yeah, like I'm saying it out loud. Just like trying to be honest. Like Charlie's incredibly capable. Like she is. I trust her ability with Numenera even over my own.
Yeah, Railu's stunned that you can admit that, but for the sake of time, Railu. All right. So if you're as well as Tiyune says you are, I followed the runner that Wither sent, and Tuam is not who is Tuam. Is just Tuam use he in pronouns? Tuam, they are not who they say they are. So they are actually, I don't know if you remember, but Nils, they are one of the people we freed when we first met Hillian. And they were very excited to hear that you were the one that was going on in the deal. So I think they have something nefarious planned.
Yes, that tells me we shouldn't go. If Mills would recognize us, that's very, very bad.
Charlie, what are your thoughts on the fact that this isn't even who Wither thought they were dealing with? Is that even going to bother them?
Would Charlie know anything about like beyond that? Or
what Charlie would know is that if that map is real, nothing else matters, because that map, being able to make Numenera, it's the keys to the kingdom. Like if you make whatever you want, then that gives you access to all of the previous 9 civilizations. It would give you everything. So no, Wither wouldn't care, and I don't know that Charlie would, because it gives you everything to play with. And you don't know Wither, you don't care, you don't know the history.
That's true. Yeah, so I don't think it matters who it is that's helping transport this map. The map is the important piece. We need to get to that.
Will you and Wither keep us safe if we go to this meeting?
I mean, if you all are with Tiyune, I definitely am here for y'all. But I guess another important aspect is, do you all have the funds?
Yes.
I mean, that depends, though. Here's the thing.
Because that will depend on the amount of danger we're in.
You do have the funds, and you know that time is limited. So you're going to have to decide. While you're thinking about that, Tiyune notices that Hillian is showing signs of becoming Howlian. They are definitely getting a little bit taller. They're very, they're signs that Tiyune would recognize and Railu would recognize. Charlie wouldn't notice. Maybe. I mean, you'd have to have a real keen eye for this. But right now, Jessica, Tiyune is noticing that Hillian is, I don't know, how are you acting?
Hillian's kind of off to the side and just kind of muttering to himself. But you can hear, "I'm so hungry."
Okay. So upon seeing this, Tiyune will say, "Okay, I can't go with you because Hillian can't go with us. Railu, you have the funds. Get the map And should you need it, you can use this. And she'll hand over a metal flask, which contains a mind-controlling poison.
Jeez. Whew. Okay. Yeah. Railu looks at it very warily and goes, all right, fine. Thank you. This is going to be helpful. You get Hillian somewhere safe. I will come back with this. Take this, and because I have to trade off ciphers, I give you my disrupting nodule because I want this mind-controlling poison.
Okay.
While y'all were talking, you discussed where we were meeting Nils?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, so Hillian actually vanishes.
Boy, howdy do they.
Yeah,
19? Yeah, you vanish.
he's gone invisible and is you don't know this, but he's going to where Nils is because he thinks that's where the food is because it keeps on getting mentioned in very important tones.
I mean, you could eat Nils for all I care, but so what do you? Yeah, now that Hillian's gone.
I mean, would Tiyune be able to figure out that, like, since this is the one location they've mentioned, Hillian, if anywhere, is going to go there?
I think so. I mean, you know Hillian very well.
Okay, so Charlie, there's a lot going on here that I can't explain right now. I have to trust you right now. I need you. I understand that you're working with this wither person, but I need you to be on my side right now, and I promise I can make it worth your while.
Charlie definitely hesitates because she doesn't know Railu or Hillian, and all of a sudden Hillian just like disappears, and there's like this like conversation happening that she doesn't understand all of the components to, and so she definitely like hesitates because now she's wondering if she's the one that's going to be walking into a bad situation because of y'all and not the other way around. And but then she just kind of like evens out a little bit and is like, yeah, I'm here for you. You're here for me, right? Like we need to do this.
Okay. And Tiyune is also like, as soon as Hillian disappeared and she put together like where he was probably going, has already started walking in the direction where they're supposed to meet the group. But also says, my priority has to be Hillian to try to mitigate the damage. Railu, you're gonna have to take the lead on this. Please, while I'm focused on Hillian, just try not to Railu this up too badly.
Railu shoots you that death glare, but they pull out the disc that's only to their thumbprint. And they hold it up and they go, Charlie, there's one more thing I need to know. If we do this trade, can you or Wither, before I do this, can you or Wither get us out of here and get us somewhere safe? Not from this. And I'll kind of like pause, look at Tiyune and be like, all right, Tiyune said I can trust this person, and like look and be like, I need help escaping from the priesthood. If you and Wither can do that for me, then we can do this deal.
I can't ensure it, but we can certainly try.
I guess that'll have to do. And then I'll like put my thumb on the thumb scanner, and I don't know how the money thing happens, but
can Tiyune stop you from doing that?
I don't want to spawn 3,000 shins in front of that person when we're only giving them 1,500.
Okay, yeah.
Because it doesn't just come out and like loose change. It's in like a bag, I'm assuming.
Yep. On top of the thing, as you're walking, you put your thumb to it, and it, in front of you materializes a bag with the shins in it. And I'm assuming you take out half of them and leave the other half?
I mean, I take out the other half and put it in my bag,
Yeah. So y'all get to where Nils is, and Wither and everyone is there, and you all show up. And as you walk in, it's a really secluded area right by the wall, and there's the device that's similar to what you just had, and Nils is there talking to Wither. And you come in as they're saying, what's the holdup? You said you sent someone, you said you were ready to buy the map. You said that you had a backer. Where are they? What's happening? Do I need to leave? Is this a setup? Are you trying to steal this map from me? And all of you walk up to that. what do you do when you see Nils?
I think Hillian's probably the most thing important. Is Hillian here?
We'll get to that in 1 second. What do you do when you see Nils?
Me, Tiyune.
Both of you.
Tiyune honestly does not even acknowledge them. Like, Railu has already explained what's going on. She knew what to expect when she got here.
Okay.
Like, does not even look at this person and is immediately just like scanning the area to look for Hillian, and is, she also knows that like anything she says is just going to make the situation worse. So she's like, this isn't my problem.
I think in the background, like you hear in the distance something like just on the horizon somewhere.
I pass the money off to Wither and then stand next to, I'm assuming Charlie probably, and just go, oh, hello, Tuam, is it?
And they look at you and they smile and they just assume you don't recognize them. And they're like, yes, it is. As they say that and they see the money, they put their hand out, Wither gives them the money, and they wave their hand over the device. And as they do so, it turns into this electric glowing globe on top. Not like how the money materialized for you, but instead it's this giant electric orb. It keeps growing to, it's about the size of someone's head. Then they press their thumb to the thing and the orb sort of explodes out, and in its place, the map shows up. But it affects Tiyune really strongly. Like the electricity just hits you in a wave. For Railu, do you have any electric-based ciphers on you?
I have the poison and I have a singularity detonation.
Ooh, so you have that one, and does Charlie have any electric-based?
How do I know if they're necessarily electric based just by the
If it's something
description of it?
that would need to be powered, have
I
the roll of
don't think
percentage.
so. I don't think any of hers are.
I'll open yours, but yeah, for that orb, please roll. And yeah, if you would actually roll for one of yours as well, Charlie, that would be great.
Okay.
Just
Sorry, what are we rolling?
dice. They're rolling percentage dice for
Oh.
whether the Numenera they have is going to be effective.
Oop.
Are we calling high or low?
Okay.
And it's just high-low. You're fine. You rolled low, so you want to roll low, below 50%. Perfect. 68 for Railu. First off, Tiyune, this wave of electricity hits you, and the Numenera in your head that was affected by Charlie is almost supercharged suddenly. You hear everything in Ephraimon as far as people who have any abilities even remotely like Charlie's. You actually all the way out is you can hear Geston's thought, you can hear Hagprud even further outside the city. You have absolutely no control over it, and it is almost overwhelming. Can you roll an int check for me, please? Cool. So with that, you rolled an 18, and you can start exercising some control, and you need to direct this somehow, because otherwise it is going to overload your mind. You know that this Numenera is not designed for this much power. I would like you to tell me, with the amount of range you think you can get, who do you think you would like to reach out to?
So I do know for sure that I've got Hagprid in my head, and I know that they're like 3 days out of the city. Is that right?
Yes. Well, you know that they are outside of the city. You don't know if they stayed at Jordawan or what they did. You just know that they left, but you can definitely sense their thoughts, which tells you that, you know, their nano abilities were... It's a good thing you didn't get into a fight. You can tell that they were much more skilled than you thought as part of the priesthood.
So if it's not clear like what her range is, then this would be like she would automatically reach out to the person that she trusts the most with like nano things. and would try to see if her range would allow her to reach out to her mentor, Mathiel.
Oh, yeah. With an 18, I would say that absolutely your abilities are so charged that you actually make a connection with your mentor, who is really shocked to hear from you, and they're like, how are you doing this? Where are you? What is going on?
And all Tiyune will say to her is just, I'm in Ephraimon and something's happening to me and I need help.
And you can, with this connection, you can see through your mentor's eyes. You can see her, she's in, is it a laboratory she lives in? What space is her home area? What is that?
She lives sort of like just outside the city because she has just a very like sprawling, almost like campus that she's sort of built for herself over the years for herself and her mentees. That's far enough away that none of their experiments can potentially like hurt anyone in the city, in Louis Jalmas.
Mm-hmm.
So she lives like just outside of the city in just like this huge sprawling area that has like laboratory parts and like library, just like all kinds of stuff that nanos over the years have collected and brought there and helped her build.
Excellent. And so she taught through this connection, you can see through her eyes, and she says, I think this will work. We're going to try something dangerous, but you have the power to ride the lightning. I can't think of any other way for you that I can help you other than to bring you here. So she points to an area where no one else is, but there is obviously a Numenera piece. It's almost like a video screen, like which you saw at Hegprud and Geston's place, that is powered. And she points to that and she says, come to me here. And then she shows you in your mind how to use the Ride the Lightning ability, where you can transport yourself from one place to another place you can see. And seeing through her eyes, you're able to, with this supercharged power, go to her. It's going to take you a couple of seconds. You have just enough time to say your goodbyes, because if you don't use this, it's going to fry your brain, and your mentor makes that very, very clear.
Tiyune is going to, from her wrist, remove one of the like pieces of metal and put it inside a bag that she keeps at her pouch, and hand that bag to Charlie and say, please, I know I promised you so much more than this, but I need you to take care of them. I need you to take care of Hillian until I can figure this out. He needs your help.
As you say that, you see Hillian coming from the right side. And what does that look like?
Hillian is now this giant, hulking, hairless rabbit were creature who has pink skin, red eyes, hairy fur pouches at the front of his mouth with whiskers coming out of it. There's blood already dripping from his mouth. You don't know from where.
Do you say anything before you leave to Howlian or Railu?
She tells Howlian, stay safe, take care, you're a good person, and never forget that.
Do you say anything to Railu?
After she says that to Howlian, looks at Railu and says, don't Railu this up.
Where are you? And then I'm assuming that's when you leave.
Yeah, as soon as that happens, the electricity from this supercharged globe just sort of consumes Tiyune, and she, just like a lightning bolt, just bursts out of this space and is gone. all you see is a little scorch mark where she once stood. That's all there is. And now you have Howlian coming in hot as Wither and his gang is standing around. Right. Go ahead.
Can I roll percentage on whether or not Tiyune's last words soothed Hillian enough to come out of the transformation?
Yes.
Please do. I do not want to fight this whole gang.
48. Don't know what you're looking for.
I've just been saying high-low, and it's below 50%, so it is not quite enough. It does impact on you, but it does not transform you back. It gives you, I would say, if you are going to expend effort to, I think you have the ability to transform yourself back at some point.
I have not reached that level yet. That's my that's tier 2.
All right, so with that, we will stop for today. Thank you all so much. This has been really, really fun. I'm sorry that it's been so chaotic, but there was a lot to try and get into this. So I just want to say, Jessica, it has been so lovely. So lovely to play with you.
It's been so much fun to play with all of you too. Don't wrap it up.
I'm really sad, but it's been really good, and hopefully we'll hang out when we get up to Seattle. When I get up to Seattle sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
I miss this so much.
Charlie's just sitting there holding this package of who knows what. Like, what the heck just happened?
And you see this giant were-rabbit thing coming at you. That the only thing you recognize is that it's wearing the exact same bracelet, or a slap bracelet, that you saw on the other being. He was so careless.
Charlie's probably like, I need to get a different job.
Anyway, I'm Kelrick. I'm on Twitter at Cormelon or at EQ Points, and this has been super fun. And
I'm Jess. You can find me on Twitter at WriteJessR. That's WriteJessR. You can find, all of the stuff that I do on my website, writejess.com, instead of listing it all. All of my adventures on DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG, all of the different podcasts and streams I do. Unfortunately, you won't find me on this one anymore. This was the end. Thank you all so much. I've had so much fun playing with you. And I'm sure things will be easier now that Tiyune is just not constantly sassing Railu.
I foresee a whole lot more combat.
I'm Aaron. You can find me at Space Persona on Twitter. And Jess, it's been so much fun. You've been like Railu and my heart of the podcast, and I'm going to miss performing with you. But it's good, and I'm really excited to hear all the other stuff that you're going to do.
Cage, I've been playing Charlie. You can find me on Twitter at RageCageRugger. That's RageKageXRuger. And you can also find me on Twitch with the same, but with an X between Rage and Cage as well. And Jess, it's been such a pleasure being on this with you as well. All this huge long time that we've been on this podcast.
It feels like forever.
I know.
Years that we've been doing this together.
I would think you would be saying that about Railu.
It's been years with them, but in a different way.
I do love that we had this handoff. That was lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Kenny?
Yeah, my name is Kenny. You can find me on Twitter at PunderDrone. Follow at EQ Points for the majority of the things that I do. And if you follow me, you will get all the retweets and all the amazing things of the things that I participate in. And yeah, I have loved my time with you, Jess. This is amazing. I love storytelling with you. So I hope we get to do so again in the future.
Thank you so much for listening to Qmenera, an Experience Points podcast. Are your ears burning for another podcast? We cannot recommend enough checking out our sister podcast, Roll to Fail. There are 6 friends who have no business behind the mic, or even rolling dice. At EQ Points on Twitter and on experiencepoints.com. Pardon our dust as I continue updates on the website. Thank you so much for listening.